the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in YouTube anime and manga community. Don't doubt the infamy, please. First and foremost, this video was supposed to come out like Thursday or Friday last week, but it is what it is, man. You know, life gets in the way. Specifically, well, actually, no. I think before that. No, I was supposed to come out before that. I just forgot. I was reminded by the captain. Shout out to Charles Anime World. Puts in mad work. Captain Squad 00 for those who don't recognize, and founder of Squad 00 University. I know his whole thing. Hey, what's happening? Yeah, man, this video is supposed to come out, and then the weekend hit, and here we are, and we finally go in on this. And it's specifically, and you were like, what? A no Soma? What? Specifically after some people here that only call it a, you know, an average shonen, you know, I call it a good series, and that's it. You know, I haven't watched the anime, don't have plans to, but yes, I am caught up with the manga for those who don't know. Do I agree with you about fan service and different things? Nah, all that be distracting. But there's actual 2 reasons as to why I continue the story. Besides the inspiration of Pops. Yo, Pops, that dude is hype, man. Soma's Pops is too hype, man. If Precious watching this when she, yo, Pops is too hype. But anyways, let me chill. Besides Pops, though, there's a couple reasons as to why I continue to know Soma. The first being that I do see potential in the story in the future. As far as in the battles for the Elite 10. I hope I'm not spoiling, but I shouldn't be. I think the anime is catching up to that if they're anime watchers. Obviously, I'm referring to the manga, so there's going to be spoilers. So mainly, hopefully, this is manga readers. I was about to say viewers. Jeez. But yeah, the potential and specifically the world building opportunities. Soma and other ones going to France. The Aldinis going back to Italy, Italia. Japanese, you know, going to New York, America. So many possibilities along those lines. And cooking, specifically the last couple arcs. And if you caught up in the manga, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I already was seeing that as I was catching up, but specifically, it's definitely heading towards that factor. The mangaka is. But the second point is what this video is specifically about. And it is about the cooking styles. Now, understand this. Let me break it down. Break it down analytically as to what I do. Okay? And that's what I do. Somewhat the best, but it is what it is. There are 3 types of cooking. Like 3 types. And then there are subcategories of those. Okay? You could say there are 3 categories, 3 types, whatever your preference is. And then there's the subcategories within each. Now I hope to address those in each of them and the pros and cons and how they fare up against other cooking and to understand why certain cooking beat other cooking. Okay? First of all, the 3 categories are, you have your artistic type of cooking, you have your specialization type of cooking, and you have your technical type of cooking. Okay? From an artistic standpoint, the kind of cookings that you have Soma's kind of freestyle cooking. It's already been stated by, I think, Nakiri Alice. I think she spoke along those lines. Now's the Black Witch. Watch out for the Black Witch. Her type of cooking. I'm trying to think of all examples of this. Those are the 2 main ones that pop off the top of my head. Of course, Soma's Pops, Genichiro. I don't want to butcher the man's name, so I'll just say Pops. Mr. Yukihiro. Yukihiro? Yeah, I believe so. Yukihiro. Anyone else? You could argue to say Megumi's style of cooking is artistic to a degree. Would Mad Dog be an artist? No, he's not. So I'll just go with those 4 as artists for now. Soma's Pops, Now, and Megumi. Moving on to the specialist, Akumi. Clearly, the meat gang. And yo, watch the sexual innuendos. Sexual innuendos. What is it? Ikumi, the Aldini brothers. I would say, yeah, they're specialists. Nikiri Alice is a specialist. I'm trying to think of all the people. Mad Dog is a specialist. Who else? I would say my dog Shun is a specialist. Shun's a specialist. Anybody else? I think I'll stick to those. Only give you a few examples. Yeah, that works. Oh, and not Hisoka, but Nikiri Arena is assistant. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She's a specialist as well. When it comes to technical, Nikiri Arena is definitely technical. Satoshi Shinomaya is definitely technical. Who else? Those are the two ones that come off the top of my head on a recent note. Hayama's also a specialist. So right now we got a bunch of specialists in Soma. That's why it's hard for me to think of the artists and the technicals. Now let me break it down as to what I mean by each of these categories. The artists, kind of these, I won't say whimsical, but they're very loose, very adaptive, their mentality is one of literally that of an artist. It is one of the heart and soul, experimental. You go for you go into a situation and you use what you got. You make do with what you got, and you create something fresh, new, and beautiful, something unorthodox. These guys, I'm not saying they don't have technical skills, because you need it, but they're not focused on technicalities. They're very open-minded and free thinkers. When it comes to specialists, this should be basic and obvious. Specialists specialize in one specific field. Now, it doesn't mean they can't enhance on what they do, but what they do is what they're good at. Kumi with the meat, Mad Dog with the fish, the Aldini brothers with their Italian style cooking. Who else did I mention? Alice with her molecular gastronomy. Arena's assistant with her medicinal cooking. Okay, that kind of thing, that kind of jazz. They're good. For what they cook branches off of that focal point. Okay. When it comes to technical aspects, these are those who are trained in a classic and go above and beyond. Their techniques, they're technicians. For you boxing fans, Floyd and Money Mayweather Jr., even though he's a fight genius, he very technical. Okay, very precise. It's not that they can't create, can't fuse, but they utilize the classical techniques that they've learned, and they go from there with their specific, specialized personal skills. Okay, I hope I broke it down like that. The technical aspects of cooking is where they shine and where they excel in. The artists in a very open-minded, kind of seemingly whimsical, out of nowhere, pulling a rabbit out the hat kind of deal. And the specialists, their focal point on the central style in which they have mastered to a degree. There is no, there's pros and cons to each, and hopefully I'll deal with that. Now, it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of deal. It's very interesting, okay? Because with the artists in general, I would say, you could say, they're paper. But no, they're not paper. They're scissors. What I mean is, if you think of them, they cut through the main fabric of what's going on, what's the norm. The technical ones are they're the scissors. Golly, can I? I'm thinking of two different thoughts. The technical ones are the paper. The artists are the scissors, and the specialists are the rock. All right, think like that. The specialists beat out, in general, the artists, and the artists beat out the artisans. They beat out, in general, the technical ones. The artists, they cut through the technical aspects of it, and in a lot of cases come out superior when it comes to the specialists, they smash with their grounded foundation the artists, because the artists don't have a set, criteria. Now, of course, you do have Soma's pops, and he's good at, he's a cooking genius. But when he was younger, I'm pretty sure the specialists had it up on him. They went up on him in a lot of cases. And the technical ones, they cover up the flaws that are left out in the cooking of the specialists. And what I mean is, the technical ones have mastered the technical aspects, and the specialists have lost off the techniques from other things besides what they specialize in, and in many cases. So it goes like that. It doesn't mean an artist can't be the specialist, or that a specialist can't be a technician, or that a technician can't be the artist. It depends on the level of skill and other facets. But if you think of it like a rock, paper, scissors, it'll make a lot of sense. Now, with that being said, for example, when now in the autumn election arc loses more or less to his Arena's assistant, it makes a lot of sense. Now with her specialization, with her artistry, it was phenomenal. That rank cooking. But she brought about a lot of cool, interesting, unique factors to the table. But what she couldn't compete with was the grounded in skills of Arena's assistant. You see what I'm saying? She couldn't compete with that. It was that Arena's assistant had specific skills that counteracted every fine point that now brought to the table. The same thing with why Hayamo defeats Soma. The same situation. The very same situation. When it came to the battle with Shinomiya, however you want to say it, versus Soma and Megumi. Although he was holding back, obviously. Why he lost in that is because they thought outside the box. They pulled stuff out the woodworks for that one. Megumi pulled off some masterful. She cooked the best that she could. She pulled some stuff out of thin air and she won that one. When it comes to Arena being superior to, let's say, her assistant, is because her assistant still lacks in other areas besides her specific area of cooking. You feel what I'm saying? Now to the last points on all the styles that we've been presented. Okay, we have Soma's freestyle cooking, which is truly phenomenal. The pros and cons of it is, it's a very experimental. It's very artistic. But in being artistic and experimental, it lacks the refinement. Now, he's getting refinement, but inherently, it lacks the refinement. So when you go up against other professional level, sometimes you gamble. And gambles not always pay off. High-risk gambles do not always pay off against technical masters. Okay? That's the beautiful thing. Experimentation, progressive thinking versus lack of fundamentals in the technical game. When it comes to Now's witchery, sorcery, she comes up with, again, some phenomenal, she bases it off of what she knows and turns it's a bunch of transformation. It's more transformative style cooking. And what it does is it takes things and it puts them together in ways in which the human mind normally doesn't conceive of them. It's very visionary. The problem is that aesthetically, it is not the best. And so with it not being aesthetically, it is not appetizing to a degree. When it comes with Megumi, it's very homey, her style is very earthy, very domestic, you can say, which you can find in a lot of, homes, really. A lot of familiar style cooking. It's style cooking that your mom would make, kind of, sort of. And it's good, but it's very comfortable, very earthy. But what it does is, while it is artistic, while it is homegrown, it lacks refinement in a different style that Soma's freestyle cooking does. It lacks refinement in the fact that it's very boxed in. It's very limited in its vision, unlike Now's style cooking, for example. Who else I'll mention? Pops. His style cooking, we're still being unraveled, but it's kind of that. It's genius. Let me just put it this way. His style of cooking is that of a genius. When I say he's a cooking genius, I mean it. It's very adaptive. It's like a sponge. He takes in all these influences and is able to fuse them intricately in ways. The problem is he's not a specialist, but he almost is a specialist. Like, he's everything. He's an artist, a specialist, and a technician. Okay, a technical cooker. So a technical chef. So his style is only for a rare breed. Very few people are geniuses, so they can't cook like them. If they try to combine all of what he does, they will epically fail. Now, moving to Hayama with the spices. His spice game is so good, and he shows the aromatic essence. He deals with the most arguably the most powerful sense, which is actually the olfactory, that of the smell. What it does is it lacks in the areas of overall broad expert. He must utilize spices. Now, you do utilize spices in cooking, but what happens if you don't have spices and all you got is simply some vegetables, some meat, or some fish, some fruit? What you got? I'm not saying he can't make those come out, but what I'm saying is that's his downfall. He's limited on the ingredients in which he has. Akumi, the same way. And actually, the specialists, that's where most of them lack in, is if they don't have the ingredients. You know, Mad Dog with the fish. The other ones, the medicinal cooking. Now, the medicinal cooking is a little bit different, and I'll explain in a second. But for the most part, the specialists, if they don't have their specific ingredient, they're going to be suffering. Now, with the medicinal cooking, and what makes it so dangerous is it brings its focus. It's a philosophy. See, that's the difference between it and the other types of specialization. Generally, it's a philosophy. And when something's a philosophy and not just a method, not just a skill, it goes beyond and it transcends. It's so dangerous because it revolves around all of it. It's almost artistic. Okay? It's almost very artistic. The medical cooking. It goes with, besides just the external, it deals with the internal. It hits you on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It hits you in ways in which they'll sneak up on you. It's some ogie type of stuff. It's some secret techniques kind of stuff. It's that stuff that's passed down from generation upon generation. See what I'm saying? It's an art form. It's almost like kung fu. Okay? It's not something that you yourself come up. It's a built-in tradition. And the downfall of that is it's easily beaten by somebody like Soma, who comes up on the fly, who has experience, and it comes up on the fly in many ways outside of the aspects in which that cooking has encountered. It presents new and unique challenges to that specific style of cooking. And finishing up with Arena. Oh, and Alice. Alice's thing is very simple. The molecular gastronomy. She doesn't have her machines. I'm not saying she can't cook, but without her machines, what exactly can she do? What she does is experimental like Soma's, but it's experimental in different ways. But what Soma does and why his freestyle beats her molecular gastronomy is experimental and progressive it is. Soma is completely original. And he can do it just with about just any ingredient. He doesn't have to overly transform and make it look all crazy radical. You see what I'm saying? It's not simply in the aesthetics. It goes in deeper to the very soul of the matter. That's part of the reason why Soma's freestyle is just so dangerous. It is just so dangerous to so many because he catches you off guard. You know. He can hit you up at a moment's notice. He can glow down the Shokugeki anytime. Doesn't matter, any place, state, time, place. Tell me what you want, I'll throw it in, and that's intimidating. You know, when it comes to Arena, now we still haven't fully seen, even in the manga, what Arena's fully capable of. But when it comes to Arena, she has tasted high quality. She has been involved with the technical aspects in the classic schooling ever since she was practically a child, okay, almost an infant. And so what she's able to do is she's able to discern the very minute details which exude and show the best in the flavors. You know, she has the God tone. That also helps too. That's something, the specialty that she herself has. But she's able to see things at a very detailed level. She's very keen. She understands the little flaws and how to expose the flaws in others. You know what I'm saying? She's able to read not only what she's going to do, but what the opponent's going to do. So when she reads the opponent, she picks it apart and, you know, turns her own, her game plan, and, you know, puts them into her pace, for lack of a better word. Do Flamingo for you One Piece fans. When it comes to Shinomiya, although he's fused, he's clearly trained in French style. And so what he's done is he's brought his culture to his French style cooking, and he's brought it back. But he clearly said it, he's going in the framework of what he's learned. That's not a bad thing, but he's going by the framework. And the only bad side, the technical aspects generally went out. It's hard to be the technician. It's hard to be the technical chef, you know, cook, you know, fighter, whatever else. The problem with it is when someone is able to go so far out of bounds, so it seems, that you can't read what they're doing. That's the downfall. It's lack of vision. It's lack of foresight. When they have a greater vision, a broader perspective, their horizons are broader than yours. That's the downfall of the technician. Everything else is covered except the technician can be so caught up in the framework in which they're used to. I won't even say comfortable, because it's not comfortable, but so caught up in the techniques themselves that they don't sometimes focus on the aesthetics, focus on the heart of the matter, the soul. You understand? They lack the soul at times. This is my breakdown of the cooking styles. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. If y'all like, maybe I'll do more No Soma discussions in the future. We'll see. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. What's your favorite style of cooking showcase so far? I know I didn't name everybody. It's hard to remember everybody. It's been, and to the applause, to the praise of the mangaka, he's presented quite a few different styles, several different styles, and there's more to come. These are the ones that exhibited what I'm talking about easily and off the top of my head, and hopefully I was able to make this clear of what I'm talking about. Till next time, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.